Is that okay?
Wow.
You're now streaming on Facebook.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just getting people entered into the meeting, so we'll get started in a few minutes. Just as people are joining, a few housekeeping items. So we are live on Facebook today. It's a little trial for us, so we'll see how that goes. So give us a hello if you're on Facebook. And we are also recording the session, so we can share it after the fact if anybody would like the recording. Welcome to those who just joined. People are just rolling in, so we'll get started in a couple minutes. Welcome to those who just joined. People are just getting logged on, so we'll get started in a few minutes. Just a couple more housekeeping items. So we do have the chat open. So if you have a question throughout the session, you can certainly ask us throughout, and we will have a chance at the end for a question and answer period. So we'll open it up if you're a brave soul and want to ask your question live on air. We certainly welcome that. But if not, you can certainly send us a question throughout on the chat. So with that, I think we are good to get started. So my name is Winnie Van Thielen. I'll be the host or the moderator of today's session. We have some really great speakers joining us today, but I will let Grace introduce our guest speakers. But just a couple things about Parkland. So we are a family owned and operated organization, and we've been operating for over 30 years. We now have 14 locations in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Ontario, and 2 new properties underway in Ajax and in Ancaster in Ontario. So if you want to include your location in the chat, feel free to let us know where you are. Parkland offers a full continuum of lifestyle options for seniors. This means you can have peace of mind knowing that additional services or care are available should you ever need it. So whether you're looking for an independent apartment with access to service and amenities, or you require supportive care, you can live comfortably knowing that additional services, friendly staff, and professional care are always nearby. And one interesting fact, something you may not know, so Shanex, that's the parent company of Parkland, announced last month that we will seek ISO 50001 certification within 2 years, and is on track to be the first senior living organization to receive the certification in Canada. So this is one step to move our company to be more environmentally friendly by increasing energy efficiency and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So I will hand over to Grace, and we'll get the session started.
Thank you, Winnie. So as Winnie said, my name is Grace. I'm Grace Meeksha, the lifestyle consultant here at one of our Ontario locations here in Mississauga, Parkland on the Glen. I'm very pleased this afternoon to be partnering with Deborah Clerk of Keller Williams and Monica Black of Simple Easy Transitions. So this is more of an informal sort of session here where I'm going to be posing questions to Deb and to Monica. feel free, if you do have any questions that may not be covered or topics, to put those in the chat box, or you can raise your hand at the end of the session. We can definitely answer those questions for you. So to start off this session, we're going to first have a little chat with Deb from Keller Williams. So let me just introduce a bit about Deborah so you know who she is. So Deborah Clerk is a real estate agent with Keller Williams Real Estate Associates, and has been helping seniors and their family transition from family homes for over 15 years. She has extensive training as an accredited seniors agent and has developed strong skills to help seniors transition from their current home to a living situation that could better suit their current lifestyle. Deb says, my job isn't just to help them buy or sell a home, it's to guide them through all of their options and connect them with people who can help, whether it's a lawyer or a mover who offer additional services of benefit to seniors. So that's a little bit about Deb. Deb, are you ready to share your knowledge with everyone?
I most definitely am. Hi, Grace.
Hello, Deb. So one question I always get when people come to see me is, should I move or should I stay? How do you answer those individuals?
Well, everyone is unique and it's a personal decision based on many factors. What works for one person or one family likely will not work for another. Start by asking a few simple questions. Should I sell my house? And if so, when? If I wanted to stay in my house and it needed some modifications, what are my options? Are there houses out there that would suit my needs better now and in the future? I haven't sold my house in decades. What has changed, if anything? If I move, what's involved?
Okay, so you mentioned, should I sell my house, and if so, when? So I think this be a great time to show up some stats, because I know people are always curious what's happening in their market with regards to market trends and prices and such. So we do have some stats here. So Deb, do you want to go through this with us, please?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Let's start with the GTA, the 411. Currently, as everyone knows, in Ontario and actually throughout Canada, houses are at an all-time high. If you look at the GTA for the month of April of 2021, we can't really compare it to last year because last year was the beginning of the pandemic and the market kind of went way down and then started to climb up towards the end of April, beginning of May. So this year in April, we had 1,322 detached homes sell for almost 1,700,000. Semi-detached homes, which have been popular since the pandemic and continue to be very popular, 467 sold in the GTA for just over 1.3 million. Freehold townhouses, 578 for 942,000. Condo townhomes, those are the ones that have common elements attached to them. 404 sold at 824,000 average, and condo apartments, which had gone down in value, now started to creep way up again. In the GTA, 2,277 of them sold for 612,341 average. So that's your 411 GTA. So I think you also have the stats, Grace, for Mississauga. And again, detached, only 460 sold for average selling price of 1.5. A semi-detached, low figure of 168 at just under 975,000 average. Freehold towns, 33, with an average of 933,000. Condo towns, 218, roughly 750,000 average, and condo apartments, 354 for an average price of 576,000. Our biggest problem in the market right now is the lack of inventory. It's always a matter of supply and demand. We have a lot of demand for housing, but very little supply. Borrowing costs are at an all-time low. Changes are being made by the government June 1st. Do I think it's going to have a big impact on the market? Not really. I think it's going to hurt new first-time buyers more so than resale. But the most important thing to remember, in spite of current market conditions, the best time to sell is when it's right for you.
Okay. So that being said, when you talk about when it's right for you, why would you make a move? Like, would it be something related to what's in your home, for instance, like a physical challenge or something?
Yes, it would be like stairs. You know, as we get older and you live in a 2-story or sometimes a 3-story home, stairs can become challenging as we get older. You know, arthritis sets in. Bathroom safety. Have you renovated your bathroom, considering that one day you may need a walk-in shower, or the vanity should be higher, or your commode should be higher, and that there's no tripping hazards in the bathroom? Are you alone in your home, and are you socially isolated? Can you manage the cleaning and the maintenance of your home? These are all things that you should take into consideration.
Okay.
Would a different size or style or amenities of a home different from yours be more appealing? And do you want lower maintenance of your home in order to spend more time with family or travel? You know, when you look at the cost of running a home, it can be quite expensive.
Mm-hmm. So when dealing, I guess, with the senior demographic, right, from moving from a familial home, so are there houses out there that would suit their individual needs currently now, and especially if they're going to age in place in the future?
Definitely, Grace. We have a variety of different choices. We have, you know, bungalows, condo apartments, senior rental apartments, and seniors residence like Parkland. That's a great option. I can speak from personal experience. My parents bought in what was then Palisades on the Glen 2 years before it was even built. And I can honestly say it was the best choice for them at that time of their life. And they had a great time. You know, the social activities, meeting new people, connecting with people that, you know, they had known in the past. They had left Mississauga and come back. So there are a lot of different options. And always remember, the choice is yours.
Okay, so that being said, then how do you know what kind of house is right for the individual? If you could expand on that a little bit.
Well, you have to think of why you're moving. Is it for the, you know, the lifestyle, freedom? Is it for your health or mobility? Do you prefer to continue to own a home, or would you like to take the equity out of your home and invest it or do whatever and just rent? Do you want to relocate to a different area to be closer to children or grandchildren? What is your budget? The most important thing, it's about choice, or is it about circumstance?
Okay. And then lastly, too, I know a lot of people will think, sorry, my phone. A lot of people would ask, you know, I'm going through all this change. What about my stuff?
That famous question, what about my stuff?
Yeah.
One of the things you want to do, is reduce duplication. Bring only the things that mean a lot to you, your treasures. Editing clothes. I learned many years ago, and I'm sure Monica will expand on this, and I do it myself, is that every season you bring out your clothes and you put the hanger this way. Then every time you wear something and you clean it or you take it off, you change the hanger so it goes inwards. And whatever at the end of the season is left, then you pack it up and give it to Goodwill, or, you know, give it away to charity. Or, to me, the best move you can make is to consider the expertise of a professional downsizing company. They will make your life and your family's life so much easier during this move.
Nice segue, Deb, to Monica, can I tell you? Geez Louise. Actually, before we get to Monica, a question popped up whether you have any statistics with regards to the Atlantic provinces. Is what you're seeing here in GTA and Mississauga similar to the Atlantic provinces? Do you know?
Well, I can only speak from what I have been told. I deal with, and I'm licensed only in Ontario, But I do know that a lot of people are moving from Ontario to the Atlantic provinces. And I understand that whereas, prices there may go up like a tiny, tiny little bit, they are now going through the same thing the rest of Canada is. And that's, bidding wars, property selling way over what they normally would have sold for. And again, a lack of inventory. We can now, since this pandemic, most people can now work from anywhere, whether they choose to stay in the province that they are currently in or move to a cottage, or in a lot of cases, people are relocating to the East Coast, whether or not they originally came from the East Coast and are going home, or we all know that the East Coast is beautiful.
Mhm.
So, but as far as the statistics go, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. I don't have that information.
Fair enough. Okay. So like we said, this was a nice segue to Monica. So before Monica, we get into our little exchange of information, let me just introduce you to everyone here. So this lovely lady here is Monica Black. So Monica is the founder of Simple Easy Transition. This is a highly personalized senior move management organization, which provides a wide range of planning and relocation services tailored to meet the specific needs of their clients, making every move simple and easy. Monica brings her diverse background of working in the healthcare industry to managing marketing events for corporate clients like Loblaws, Hyundai, and Scotiabank, and her experience in assisting her grandparents in the downsizing process, which I believe that's why you got into it anyways, Monica, from when you've talked about before. So Monica is a certified relocation specialist, but an author, a speaker, and a coach also. She is very passionate about what she does and believes that's essential to start the process of downsizing early. As Monica says, everyone plans their retirement, but no one includes downsizing in that process. Downsizing should be part of your plan. Don't wait till something happens, then families have to react. This is where 9 out of 10 families make the wrong decision. And Monica continues to say, looking back, I know that everything that I've experienced personally or in business has led me to open the doors of simple, easy transitions. Little did I know that the relationship I had with my grandparents would have played such a significant role in my life's work supporting others through all aspects of downsizing. My goal for my clients is to make their move as stress-free as possible by taking care of all aspects of their move. Make it simple and easy. So this is Monica Black. So we're going to talk now about some downsizing questions. So Monica, question that always comes up is, what should I do first when starting to downsize?
Well, the first thing is take a breath.
Take what? Sorry?
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Okay.
Take a breath. And it will get done. But the very first thing you should do is get a calendar and start working backwards. Look at when your move date is. So if your move date is June 30th and where you are today, and start planning and slotting in when you're going to pack, when you're going to declutter, but I'll go through that. So you're going to get the calendar, slot in your move date. You're going to then book your movers, because movers are busy depending on what time of the month you're moving, and also costs could be different. So book your mover, book a date to interview your mover, buy your supplies. What boxes do you need? You need your boxes, you need your paper, bubble wrap, tape, pens. Go and buy all that stuff so you're not running around when you need it. Start decluttering. That's the first time you're going to start. Just take a walk around your house, see what's there, then start decluttering. As Deb mentioned, things that are duplicated. Maybe you have 3 of the same thing. Let's take it away. Do you have a floor plan? Very important. A lot of people start processing their move, but they don't have a floor plan of where they're moving to. So how can you, it's like getting in your car, turning it on, and if you don't know where you're going to go, then you can't press gas. So you got to know where you're going. So look at that floor plan, whether you're moving into a bungalow, condominium, moving into a senior residence like Parkland, you have to know where you're moving. Work on that floor plan. Once you start working on that floor plan, declutter again, because chances are that the first decluttering, you now look back and say, oh, I really don't have space for that. So start doing that. And I should mention one of the tricks of decluttering is actually getting dots. At Staples or the dollar store, you have red, green, blue. Take like the green dot and put in all the things that you want to take. Blue dot for all the things you want to donate. And then that second time you're going to declutter, you look and you say, oh my goodness, I have a lot of green dots, right? Then you go back and say, okay, what is it that I really want to take? Then you start packing. And then you have your move. So that's just a little bit of the strategy of how to start planning. I didn't want to go into detail because then it becomes very confusing, but this is just the breakdown. So you get a calendar, you work backwards, you book your movers, you buy your supplies, you start the decluttering process, you start working on your floor plan, you declutter a second time, you start packing, and then you do your move.
Okay, well, you talk about dots and decluttering. So how do you separate what people might call their treasures?
Okay, a couple of ways I recommend for clients. The first thing is what's non-negotiable, right? That is the very first thing. So it could be your grandmother's china is non-negotiable. It could be that, your grandfather's cuckoo clock is non-negotiable. It has to go. Start with that. So once you understand what's non-negotiable and what you really want to take, then I would invite your family to come in and see what they would like. And what I say to clients is that when you ask your family to come in and they say, yes, I'd like to take your silverware, you say you got to take it now. Because if you tell family, okay, fine, I'll hold on to it, the chances of them coming in 4 weeks or 5 weeks to collect is very slim. You have to be on the phone. Don't forget, you have to pick up the silverware. Don't forget, so you invite them and say, this is your day to decide what you want to take. Or have a family party of, memories of the home and invite all the grandchildren, the children to come in and take what they would like. And then you're left with what you now have to find a home for. So one of the things I recommend for clients is get 3 boxes plus a garbage bag, right? So 1 box is for keep, 1 box is for giveaway, but the giveaway is broken down into 2 boxes, which is giveaway for the family and giveaway to charities. And the garbage bag is for garbage. And the reason why I say use a garbage bag is because you're going to tie it up and put it outside for garbage. And make sure the garbage bag is black. Because we've had clients where we use clear garbage bags and they could see the garbage and they go, oh, no. I really, really want that. But with a black garbage bag, nobody sees what's in there, right? So yeah. That's it. And I guess I should step back and say what I recommend for clients, start in a room that's the easiest. Don't start in the kitchen. Start maybe in the guest room or even in the bathroom, one of the easiest rooms for you, because that gives you that momentum of moving to the next. Mm-hmm. A lot of people start with the kitchen and the kitchen is so overwhelming that they just want to put their head in the sand and pray that I Dream of Jeannie comes and does it for you. So start in that room that it's easy to work through. And also you can use that room to start storing your boxes. So that's a good thing. If you're in a room like a kitchen, like your kitchen, break it down. You can't get it done in 5 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours. Break it down and say, okay, today I'm going to do 2 cupboards. Tomorrow I'm going to do these other 2 cupboards, but don't try and do everything all at once. And that's why I'm going to go back to the calendar. So when you have that calendar, actually walk around your house and figure out how long each room is going to take and put those days in your calendar. Slot it in, because what you put on your calendar gets done. And what my thing is to do that first thing in the morning, because you've got the energy. So if you want to do your kitchen on Sunday morning, do that first thing in the morning and only do it for 2 hours. After 3 or 4 hours, you become tired. We just become overwhelmed. So slot the times that you're going to be doing your packing in your calendar, so it works for you. So you don't reach to the end of the month and say, oh my God, I still have all of this to do. You've got your boxes for charity. I know it's hard now with COVID. Take it right away to the charity. Don't keep it in your house, because we have the tendency of going back in and checking to see if we really want to give it away, and then it comes back in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these are really key tips to help you through that process of going through. But my thing is always start with the non-negotiables.
Okay. So you mentioned the 3 boxes, and you just touched upon charities and what charities will take items, especially now during COVID. So what charities do you know of now that can help with that box?
Yeah, I know. That's a difficult time right now with COVID, because Value Village, Salvation Army, they're not taking any donations. Mm-hmm. There might be some shelters that will take donations. There is this Scott Mission that will take a lot of clothing. There's a Sisterin and Dress for Success. So those are the ones that are taking donations today. Once we're out of COVID, we can get back to Value Village, Salvation Army. Now, there is the Red Door Shelter or Green Door Shelters, which are great for battered women. Mm-hmm. It's a fabulous shelter. They take clothing, they'll take books for children, they'll take small appliances. It's just a great charity for women who have to leave their homes in a hurry, and they take their donations to set up these women. There is the Furniture Bank for Furniture, Habitat for Humanity, and the Jewish-Russian Association that takes furniture. Now, for Habitat for Humanity at this time, you actually have to put your furniture outside for them to pick it up. Mm-hmm. Just be aware that they're being a lot choosier on what they're taking, because they have less space. So their warehouses are full because they don't have the walk-in traffic to purchase all the furniture that they have. But these charities give you a charitable receipt, which you can use for your taxes. Furniture Bank is for new immigrants who need furniture, so they supply the furniture for that. Also the Jewish-Russian Association, all great charities. But you've got to book these ahead. You've got to send them pictures. You can't do this and expect them to come and pick it up within 1 or 2 weeks. It takes much longer than that. Again, you've got to slot that in your calendar.
Yeah. And then Kelly mentions too the drop-off bins out in the East Coast, and I believe we have them here still active
Yes, they are. Some of them are closed off during COVID. The problem with the drop boxes is that they're overflowed. So you'll see that things are sitting outside and getting damaged and that kind of thing. If you can hold on to your stuff to when the charities are open, that is what I recommend, because I just see too many things get damaged outside, sitting outside out of these boxes.
Yep. And then I have Bibles for Missions that Julie tells us will come and pick up in the Mississauga, Burlington, and Halton area too.
That's
So-
for, yeah, they will. I know for a lot of those communities, they're being overwhelmed with donations. So again, please call ahead, because I don't want you to go and take it there and they say, no, we can't take it. So you've got to call ahead for all of these things. The Toronto Library takes books, but call ahead, because sometimes they'll say to you, how old are these books? We don't want books that are 30 years old. So you've got to do your due diligence for all these organizations first.
Okay, good advice. That's for the smaller items, the donation. So some of the bigger ones, but when you're deciding, again, putting it in the different pockets like you decided, especially for furniture, how do you decide what furniture you keep and what you give away?
Well, again, you go back to your floor plan and you get your floor plan. You have the non-negotiable things you're going to take and all the furniture you think should be able to fit. Take measurements of all your furniture, the width, the depth, the length, the height, and then work with your floor plan. I know for my senior clients, because they're very visual, what we will do is go to their new residence and actually take green tape and mark it off on the floor so that they can actually see where things are going, right? And if they need accessibility, we've also got to think about wheelchairs, walkers, is the person visually impaired, all of these things. And then you can see exactly where the furniture is going. And then you have an idea of what I really can take, what is my wish list and what really works. I think that's really, really important. Now, there are different apps that you can work with if you're so inclined, and they're very useful, but I know for a lot of my senior clients, they actually have to go to the new residence and actually feel and basically taste and see how this is all going to work out for them.
Or I have residents who ask my floor plans and they'll actually create furniture to size.
Yes.
The patience of these individuals, I couldn't do it. I actually had a roommate at university who did that when we moved in. I couldn't believe that. So green taping I know is a very popular one too, coming in to see the spacing, especially too, I always find, especially for the bedroom, right? The beds and the dressers, especially if you want that allowance for someone who may in the future use a walker, to make sure you have that space between the end of the bed and the dresser, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't visually tell also with empty space when you see a unit versus your furniture, right? So that's a great idea about the taping.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, things that you have to take in consideration too for seniors is the depth space of where the television is, where the couch is, and can they see the TV? And so things have to be moved around for that. Also, where are the vents? Because sometimes, you may say, okay, a chair will go here. But if you've got, like at this time, air conditioning and you've got cold air coming down on a senior. So these are all the things that you have to really think about when you're doing your space planning for seniors is, if they sit here, can they move easily to the table to eat, to their breakfast table? All these little things, you'd be surprised, you have to take into consideration when working with seniors.
For sure. Okay, so now that you have your boxes of non-negotiables, you've set on, I'm moving to Parkland on the Glen because I just love that Grace and that property. That's a plug for me, thank you. how do you choose a moving company? What do you go through? Because you mentioned earlier on how you should interview one. So what things should you be looking for?
Well, first of all, don't hire a mover over the phone, and don't hire a mover based on price. Okay, just if you're basing it on price, it's a red flag right away. And if you call a mover and they give you a quote on the phone, red flag. They're not seeing, you know, how many steps you have. They're not seeing how small your staircases may be. They're not seeing how large your furniture is. So they have to do a site visit. Important thing, if you live alone, please have a friend or a relative with you. Do not do this interview alone, because a second person is hearing things that you may not hear what they have said, or questions you may not be asking certain questions, and somebody else will say, well, how about this, or how about that? So it's always good to have a second person, also for safety. You're inviting a stranger into your home. You should have a second person with you. First thing is ask them about their insurance. Do they have liability insurance? So many people don't ask about insurance, and then something gets broken and they have a hell of a time trying to get insurance from the mover. So you've got to understand about insurance. How quickly do I have to contact the moving company to say something's broken? You know, is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? Can it be a month? So that means you've got to have those boxes unpacked to see if anything is broken. You've got to check your furniture when it's put down to see if anything's cracked. You know, all of these things are important. When they come on site, you have to show them exactly what furniture is going. Take them through the house of where the furniture is, because some movers will charge you per step. You know, some houses like townhouses, they just go up, 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 up. And, you know, they could be going up 41 steps and coming down 41 steps. How many steps are they charging you for? Are they charging you for 8 hours at one price? After 8 hours, they're charging you another price? You know, let them guarantee how many men are going to be working on the job, whether it's 3 men or 2 men. Do they wrap their furniture with blankets and shrink wrap? You know, there are a lot of movers that don't. They just pick the stuff, put it in their trucks. Also, let them look at your staircases. When you put the first time you put your armoire upstairs, it was built upstairs. But now you're taking it downstairs. Can it come down those stairs now?
Yeah.
Does it have to be dismantled and rebuilt? Can they do that? So these are all questions. Time of the year. So when do you want to move? Do you want to move at the middle of the month, end of the month? Those may be the more expensive times to move. Some movers, they're priced, it doesn't change. For some movers, it's costly to move at the end of the month, beginning of the month, and the middle of the month. So that's really important. Also, if you're moving in the winter time, will they bring salt to put on the driveway so they don't slip? Is your home insured in case they slip?
Oh, good one.
That's really important to understand that. Also, if you are moving into a senior residence, please ensure the time you're moving in. Are you moving in the morning? If you're moving in the morning, that means that truck has to come the night before to be packed up. Is that truck going to be in a secure location with your stuff in it? So these are just few questions to ask the movers.
I always learn things from you, Monica. I didn't think about the salt. Let me ask you, how does one monetize the stuff that they're not taking with them?
Okay, there's a few ways to do that. you could go use a consignment store. To do that, you need to send pictures, dimensions, when you purchase the item, and the consignment store will let you know whether they're interested or not. Keep in mind that you're going to be paying for that item to be transported. Once the consignment store sells that stuff, they take between 30 to 50% of what they've sold it at. So just keep that in mind when you're selling stuff to consignment stores, because some people say, oh, great, and you went inside a consignment store and then they end up with $50. Well, you paid to have it delivered there, and they take a percentage of the sale of the item. After 30 days, the price goes down. After 60 days, it goes down again. After 90 days, it goes down again. And then you get a phone call. What do you want us to do with your stuff? Do you want it back? Or do you want us to give it to a charity? Okay. There's online auctions out there now. One of them is Max Sold. You can connect with them. They will come in and take pictures of your stuff. They'll put it in a catalog. They put it up online. They take care of when people pick it up. It's sort of a one-stop shop, but again, they charge for these services and they take a percentage of the sale. And it starts at $1.
Yeah. So
if you have an antique desk that's worth $1,000, the bidding starts at $1.
Yeah.
Just one of those things. There's also liquidators. You can contact a liquidator and see if you can sell everything to him, and they'll offer you, a price, but if they take it away, they'll say, I'll give you $300. And you may say, oh, well, my stuff's worth $2,000, but hassle-free, and they take it away.
Yeah.
And then there's content sales, when we can have content sales again, where it's like a higher level of a garage sale, where everything is priced, it's set up in your home. People walk through your home and purchase things. So those are a few areas that you can look at and see what works best for you within the timelines that you are moving. Again, work with your calendar, and this doesn't happen in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So you're giving us some great advice here, Monica. So tell us how your organization could help to make a transition less stressful and more organized.
Well, we take care of everything. We're a one-stop shop, right? So we come in and we talk to you about what your needs are. We talk to you about your move date, and we also use a calendar, and we work backwards of what services you'd like to be engaged to work with. So if you say do everything, we'll say, okay, this is happening now. We're going to start decluttering. Then we're going to do the packing. Then we're going to do the content sale. Then we're going to do empty out your home. So we take care of everything for you. We'll hold your hand through it. We'll help you decide what you should be taking, what you shouldn't be taking. If you're moving into a residence like Parkland, you don't need, 20 knives. You need 3. You don't need 30 coats. You need 4. So we'll help you through that process.
You're the one that can kind of be from the outside and be the voice of reason for me.
Yes, we're the third party. It makes it, we make the decisions easier for you, so you don't have to make them. Or we talk you through the decisions.
Got it. Vive la différence, right? So that's great, I think, information, Deb and Monica. Just wondering if anyone who's here has any questions for either Deb about the real estate market or Monica about any further advice about downsizing or organizing. There's a way to ask the question on chat or raise your hand. Please let us know.
We did have one question that came in. I think this is a good question for Deb. And it's a pretty loaded question maybe. And I know we have folks on from both Ontario and out here in the East Coast but where do you see the real estate market headed?
That's a $2 million question. Literally. I'll give you the same answer that any real estate agent would if you asked them the same question. None of us have a crystal ball. We cannot predict where the market will be in 6 months or a year from now. And if we could, we'd all be millionaires and wouldn't have to work. But, you know, traditionally the market has been going up in the last 18 years, and economists keep talking about a bubble, that, you know, we're in a bubble and it's going to burst. We haven't seen it. They're saying that next year they can possibly, housing can possibly go up another 12%. We don't know. You know, it's unpredictable. Again, the best time to sell is when you're ready. When is that? Probably today. Inventory throughout the country and from province to province is low, and there's a high demand. So to say that houses are going to be more expensive next year, probably. Is there going to be a crash? Probably not. That's unfortunately the best answer I can give you.
That's fair. That's honest. Anyone else have any other questions?
We do have a question for Monica. I know that you covered some of this, but if I wanted to move myself but need assistance in like planning, coordinating the move, is that something that you would do, like just kind of chunks of the process?
Yes, I mean, I always say to clients, I'll give you the Rolls Royce. Like, I mean, we give them all the information, we'll give them an estimate, we'll give them from start to finish. They can then choose what they want to do. Some clients want to get their families involved and that kind of thing. So they choose what they, you know, they're in charge. So they choose exactly what they want to do. It could be that they want to go through and do the decluttering, and we just come in and pack up and unpack them. We can do that. So it's totally up to the client, and you know, we work with their schedule and the services that they want.
Great, thank you. And I know this, you know, the session has been hosted by Parkland on the Glen and the team here in Mississauga, but all of our campuses do have a great lifestyle consultant that you can get in touch with for your local area, and they can put you in touch with the Debs and the Monicas in your local area. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this was just a little snapshot of the types of services that we can put you in touch with at all of our locations.
Thanks, Penny. And I guess before, just any more questions before we finish this session at all? No. Okay. So just want to finish this off as a continuation of this session. Actually, we have another Parkland live session on June 10th. We were talking about monetizing things earlier with Monica. We have Julie Riches from Riches Appraisals, who will be joining us on June 10th. And we'll be talking about seeking advice from a qualified appraiser. So for anyone interested in that, please go to experienceparkland.com and sign up for that. And then also too, as our ongoing series that we have on June 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Atlantic, summer meal prep and wine pairing. Yes, that sounds very good indeed. So if you're interested in any of those Parkland live sessions, please sign up. Again, I'd like to thank those that did join us. It was a great information. I think that Monica and Deb shared with us today. Thank you very much, ladies, for spending some time with us this afternoon. And then if anyone has any questions about Parkland properties, like a little more information, please don't hesitate to reach out to learn about any of our properties at experienceparkland.com. So I think if no one has any other questions, that's our session for today. Thank you very much for joining us. And remember, it's on Facebook Live, so you can always go back and see what we spoke about today, and hope to see you at another session of Parkland Live in the future. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.